Okay, what's going on, good people? How we doing? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully everybody is safe. Hopefully everybody is doing good. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. You can go ahead and put it in the comment section. Either give me a thumbs up or just tell me that I'm good. Let me know if I'm sounding good. Shout out to the 25 people already in the building. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. It'll let the algorithm know that we in the building, and the algorithm will let other Giants fans know that we in the building. Let me get my levels right. Turn this music down just a tad bit. But how's everybody doing, man? Really, how was everybody's Thanksgiving, man? How is everybody full? Everybody got fed, I'm assuming, right? The last of the leftovers was today. Everything else made it to the trash. And it's crazy too. We do all that cooking and feasting just to throw away some of those leftovers. Some of y'all still eating them leftovers, though, man. Just remember how long leftovers really last. If you're still looking at that turkey on Tuesday, throw it away. If you're still looking at that turkey tomorrow, throw it away. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. Quick roll call. Shout out to my man No Ice in the building. 9415. He says hello, everyone. That's just so polite. Say hello to everybody. OKC Donald, what's going on? He said, what's good? Another one? Yeah, that's a fact. We here for another one. Late night Giants talk. Shout out to everybody already in the building. My man Dinka said, hey, yo, what's going on, man? Big Moo in the building said, yo, Big Dash, hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. Yes, we did. Hopefully you had one too, man. Shout out to the Big Moo, man. It was fantastic, man. It was fantastic. Another Thanksgiving marked off the calendar. I don't like Thanksgiving. Got to be one of like the best holidays, man. Like it's really obviously this the spirit of the season is being thankful for what you have. But man, it's about the food, man. Let's stop playing around. It's about the food. Now I don't really do turkeys. I don't do whole turkeys. I did turkey wings for the first time this year. Came out pretty good. But I don't usually do turkeys. I do the ham and all that other stuff, but I don't normally do the turkeys. Shout out to my man Phil in the building. Said, what's good, Dad? What's going on, Phil? How you doing? D. Hoffa in the building. Man Dickens said, president of the Winstonites checking in. Is that a fact? Luann in the building. What's going on, Luann? My man Byron gave me the thumbs up. Let me know that I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm good. Perfect. We got some things to talk about. I'm excited for this game. I'm really excited for this game. Actually, let me get the comments so you guys can see it. In the bottom corner, and we got some things to talk about. I'm excited for this game. First game with Jaxson Dart under Mike Kafka. First game with the new interim defensive coordinator, Charlie Bullen. We got some things to talk about. I got certain expectations, but I'm wondering what you guys are expecting too. I want to know what the temperature in the room is as far as, do you guys think we got a chance, or what is Jaxson Dart going to look like with just under Mike Kafka, and what's his defense going to look like? I don't know, man. Shout out to Dexter Lawrence though, because I thought Dexter Lawrence wasn't going to play with the elbow injury. He had his what was it? He was at the locker room. I think it might have been today. I saw the video today, and he said there wasn't a doubt in his mind that he was going to play. He's definitely playing Monday. I'm happy about that. Shout out to my man Raymond Lopez. Here comes the money. With the $4.99 super chat. He says, I get that gut feeling that the Giants are going to pull off an upset. Get that gut feeling that the Giants are going to pull off an upset. So nice you had to say it twice. Shout out to my man Raymond. Listen, I did not know. Like I knew that the Patriots were playing some good ball. I knew that they were like one of the top teams. I did not know that they were 10-2. I didn't realize it, that they were at the top of the AFC. I knew they were one of the better teams, but I did not realize that they were 10-2. I absolutely believe that we can beat the Patriots on Monday. I really do. They got issues with the offensive line. They're dealing with some injuries. That whole left side is going to be substitutes, backups, and depending on what Charlie Bullen got cooking, I think we can expose that. But we'll get into the game a little bit later. I'm gonna still do the roll call real quick for everybody that's in here. Shout out to my man Marvin. Says, I always been concerned for Dart. Once you get a concussion, getting another one is easier. Now that is a fact. That he's gonna have to smarten up. He's gonna have to dial it back a little bit, and I think he will. I think missing 2 games I think missing 2 games is like it should be a wake up call for him to get out of bounds. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris. Is it Jay Ferris? Joe Ferris? You know what it is. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris. He says, show some respect to Big Dash. This guy has a part-time job entertaining you folks. He is a Giants legend already. I respect your dedication, and you are here in the dark times. But he said, Black is back, baby. Tons of respect for you. Now, I respect that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love and support as always. Joe, you one of the day one guys for real. One of these Giants fans also living on the West Coast. So shout out to my man Jay Ferris for the love and support for sure. And you know what, man? I enjoy it, man. I enjoy talking Giants football. I really do. I really do. And I enjoy spending my time talking Giants football with y'all, the Big Blue Nation. So shout out to y'all as well. The Giants guy says they're about to start winning meaningless games. I would be upset with that, right? I would be upset with that if we were trying to tank for a quarterback. But now that we got a quarterback, I'm not with the tanking. So if we win a couple of games, now the only thing that it affects is whether or not Kafka really has a chance of being the next, head coach for the New York Giants. Now, if he run off a couple of games, then I'm telling you, the way the Giants think, they're going to look at Mike Kafka and going to say, okay, young guy, offensive mind, already is in the building, has the offense looking good. Let's give him a chance. Now, that's one thing that'll happen if we start rattling off some wins at the end of the season. But I'll tell you this, I feel a little bit different this week than I did last week. I thought that we can beat Dallas. I did think we can beat Dallas. Just talking about some of the games that are left on the schedule. Obviously, I think we can beat the Commanders. But this Dallas team now, they went in free agency at the trade deadline. They went and got linebackers. They went and got defensive tackles, and now that defense look like it's ready to go, and we already know that the offense can put up points. So I don't like talking highly about the Dallas Cowboys, but they made some moves at the trade deadline that made them competitors. Now, they still have to win, because I believe right now they're still in the hunt. What are they, 6-5-1? So they're still just out of the playoffs, but that's going to be a dangerous team, and I hate talking highly about the Dallas Cowboys, but I got to give, respect what respect is due. They still trash too, but you know what I mean. Shout out to my man TP Way in the building, said Peach Dash in the chat, Giants salute. Shout out to my man TP. My man Born for Sports is in the building. Shout out to my man Born for Sports. Now I got 2 Giants content creators here. If you are not subscribed to my man Born for Sports, make sure you go ahead and do that. If you're not subscribed to my man TP Way the Giant, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Luann says, Dash, I saw the press conference and he was upset about Dable. He loves Dable. Who are you talking about? Jaxson Dart. Yeah, he was upset. Of course he's upset. Of course. And you know what? That's going to be the first subject that we're going to talk about today is Jaxson Dart. Not really about this situation, but just in general how he's going to look under Mike Kafka. But yeah, of course he's upset. That's the guy that wanted him. And he said it too. He said if it wasn't for Dable, he don't know if he would have been here. And that's real. That's absolutely real. So yeah, and everybody keeps saying the same thing. They wish they would have been able to win more games for Daves. Same thing for the defensive guys when they talk about Shane Bowen. I think the Shane Bowen talk is just them being nice, but I really do believe that they wanted to win more games for Dable. It just didn't happen. But yeah, of course he's affected by that. We'll see how the play goes. So I think he'll be fine. He'll be just fine for sure. American Cheese says the Giants should sit Dart. We are blowing an opportunity for a second pick in the draft. Now, if we kept that second pick, American Cheese, and that's a fire name because I see the bankroll in the picture. If we do end up with that second overall pick, it's not going to be our pick for long. We're trading out of that. We're getting draft capital for that. And even if we were to win a couple of games, we probably still end up picking in the top 5. So you're still going to have some trade value no matter where you sit. And now, if the Giants win like 5 games, then what we talking about? You know what I mean? So I understand what you mean, but again, I don't want to stop the development of Jaxson Dart and sit him because I want to stay at pick 2. So far Jaxson Dart has been playing well and we've still been losing. So man, whether we sit him or we start him right now, it's more than just Jaxson Dart being the person that helped us win games. This defense got to close out, and we've seen that because Jaxson Dart is doing everything he can. His defense is the one not holding up. So I think we should play him. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead. That'll be a question right now in the chat. We're gonna do that right now. Are you guys sitting Jaxson Dart for the rest of the season, or should Jaxson Dart be playing? That'll be the first question I ask tonight. Make just a yes or no. If you got an explanation, go ahead and put the explanation in there too. Shout out to y'all though. Shout out to my Ian Campbell with the ear. What's going on, Ian? I said that too. I made a joke and I put that on Twitter that the Giants will win the next 5 games and end up 7-10. And a lot of people said that'd be the worst thing the Giants could do as far as for the future of the Giants. And my reply to that was that would be the most Giant thing to do. I don't think we rattling off 5 wins though, man. That's crazy. Because I'll tell you right now, if we win the next 5 games, there's no doubt in my mind Mike Caffrey is going to be the next head coach of the New York Giants if he wins 5 in a row. Because a lot of those teams, except for the Commanders and the Raiders, are the Vikings out of it? Because who do we have? We have the Patriots, then we got the Commanders, then we got the Vikings. No, Dallas. I can't get the order, but I know it's Dallas, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, and the Patriots. Okay. Shout out to my man Rev coming through. As always, says no game is meaningless. Some games might be. Rev, some games might be, Rev. Like that Colts game last year was meaningless. But hey, everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. God doesn't make mistakes. We ended up getting Carter, and we ended up getting Dart, and Dart's looking like he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Marvin says the NFL is ruthless in the results business, so they're used to it. Yeah, the players should be used to it. Again, if you can't win, if you're not winning, if you're not getting the results, just imagine you at your job, not getting your work done, not getting your job done, not completing your projects or whatever you're doing at work. You're not going to be there for long. Same thing goes for the NFL. We like to give these guys these long leashes. But again, if you're not winning, you're not winning. From 9 wins to 6 wins to 3 wins, and now we're sitting here at 2 wins. Yeah, a move had to be made. Had to be. The Big Move says Dart will smarten up. He doesn't want to miss any games. I think him missing these games, especially with how much fun these guys are having on the sideline, even though we can't win to save our lives right now. But you see how involved he was last week with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was out there having a lot of fun. And I know for a fact Jaxson Dart was having some fun on the sideline, but he would much rather be playing and being a part of the players making these plays, for sure. Shout out to my man Christopher Tony in the chat, showing love to everybody. Man, Dinka says Steve Wilkes for DC. Steve Wilkes is where right now? I thought Steve Wilkes is with the Jets right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's the DC for the Jets. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. Y'all can fact check me and let me know for sure. My man CV Manual 227 says, anyone suggesting Dart sit don't prioritize winning. He said himself that he has to get used to the speed of the game. You don't do that grabbing a clipboard. That's a fact. That is a fact. And that's my point too, man. You saw, what was it? You saw the sideline report, and a lot of people were talking about it. They were even talking about it on Giants.com. I think it was Paul Dottino, might have been Bob Papa actually with Carl Banks, but he talked about Joe Burrow's response to sitting out the rest of the season. He said, "I'm a football player. This is what I get paid to do. I want to play." And listen, man, that's what you do. That's exactly what you do. All right, everybody says yes. Yes, win the last 5. Christopher Tony said yes, win the last 5. Okay. No Wise says play him. Marvin says hell no. Bryson says yes. Chris says no, play him. Say everybody want to play him. Rev said no to play him though, right? So I guess I should have asked that question a lot clearer. That way some of these answers will come through a lot clearer. Play him, he needs the reps. If AT isn't sitting out, Jaxson needs to play. So what if AT sat out? You wouldn't want to play him? Get Marcus Bowe in there. Come on, TP. You already know what it is. Luann says, well, Winston is pretty good, very accurate, but yeah, keep Dart in. Yeah, I'm so happy we didn't trade Jameis Winston at the deadline like a lot of people wanted to do. There was a lot of people out there that wanted to do that. I'm so glad we didn't trade Jameis Winston. We got him for another year, and we got him on the cheap. And also, man, he showed you that he can come in and play well. He can play well enough for you guys to win games if the defense was better. And that's exactly what you want from your backup. Just think about the list of backups the New York Giants have had over the last 12 years. Like, we really couldn't win with any of those guys. Now, you will say the Tommy DeVito rattled off a couple of wins. Fantastic. But you know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm getting at. Somebody that you can really put some faith in. And somebody said that Tommy DeVito was talking trash a little bit. I haven't fact checked that yet. They asked him about the Giants game. He said he wants to blow us out. Pause. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see it myself. It was like somebody reporting that. That's what he said. If he did say that, I don't blame him at all. At all. CV Manuel says Dart said himself he's still getting used to the speed. Oh, dang. You did that twice. Unless I lost it. All right, so here's my question. First question, or I should say, what do I expect to see from Jaxson Dart under Mike Kafka? Now, the first thing a lot of people, or what I've been hearing, is people saying that they expect him not to run as much. You know, not a lot of QB design runs, which I believe should be the smart thing to do. Because one thing these last two games proved to us is that the New York Giants can move the ball without the quarterback using their legs. Now, Jaxson Dart is Jaxson Dart. One thing he's going to do, if things are not going as planned, he will, work out a structure and do things with his feet, create with his legs, and try to make plays downfield, whether with his arm or with his legs. So I don't expect him to overthink it as far as just not run at all. If that's the case, then he might be ruined already if you feel like that's what he needs to do. What I need to do is what I need to see him do is just operate this offense. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't want to see him, that many QB design runs. Again, because I've seen, what quarterbacks can do under Mike Kafka with Jameis Winston, and he's not running, even though he's doing trick plays and catching touchdowns. But yeah, that's my main thing. I expect Jaxson Dart to look like Jaxson Dart. I don't expect to see like back-to-back QB draws. There might be one or two, something like that, just to get his feet wet and get back into the field of the game. But I can't see us doing QB powers, QB sweeps. Not too many of those, like back-to-back, like we saw on the Dable. Now, if we do see that, because a lot of people have been arguing back and forth about who really was calling the plays, or who was in control of Jaxson Dart running the ball so much. They said, well, Kafka was the one calling the plays. That's true. That is very true. But also, you got to do what the head coach wants. Now, if the head coach says, I want the quarterback to run on this play, you find a play that the quarterback is running and you call that play. But you're not the one saying, or just making the decision that you want to run on this play. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Shout out to my man, Raymond Lopez. With the $4.99 super chat says, if healthy, always play Dart. Trying to keep him safe instead of getting reps is a loser mentality. 100%. That's where I'm at. I'm right there with you. Shout out to my man Big Moon with the $5 super chat says, Giants should extend Winston's contract for at least 2 or 3 years. Best backup in the NFL. Great team guy, and he's cheap. $4 million a year. What a bargain. I added it at the end. Some of you guys might get that reference. Some of you guys won't. What a bargain. That's Eddie Murphy. Showing my age. Christopher Tony says, let's just see these wins, 8 in the last 5 games. What? Let's just see these wins, 8 in the last 5. Who had 8 wins in the last 5 games? I don't know. Facts, Moo. Isaac says facts. So, I mean, a lot of people, man, that's what it is. I don't think Winston's going anywhere. I don't think they're going to be in a rush to do anything, prior to the season, because you already got them locked in for the 2026 season. So I don't expect, I don't expect it to happen. But if you have another season where Dart misses a couple of games, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't. Yeah, I'm let him retire a Giant. Let him back up, Jaxson Dart until it's time to retire. I'm with that 100%. 100%. Shout out to Sinead Banks says, hit the like button. That's a fact. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know we in the building. We ain't got to pick on Wilson, no. We ain't got to pick on Russ. It says, Wilson, no. See you, buddy. Listen, he already know what it is. Writing's on the wall. He won't get any of that incentive money. So we got him for $11 million rental. It is what it is. It is what it is. Luann says Dart should just be a quarterback from the pocket, no running. Again, we don't want to handcuff him. We just want him to be smarter. Again, it's about him being safe. And he takes chances. That's his issue. He takes the chances, unnecessary chances. And it's crazy too because I was siding with his father when his father said, that his son doesn't have that loser mentality. So if he's going to go for the first down, I understand going for the first down, but after you get that first down, I need you to be smart. I need you to be smart. I know it's hard to get points in this league. So if you find a chance, if you see some daylight, you want to take it, that's fine. But when it starts to get a little crazy in there, when the defenders are around, get down. Get out of bounds and get down. That's all we're asking you to do. We're not asking him to stop running. We're just asking him to be smart when he finishes his runs. Get down, slide, do all those things, please. Because again, we right now we can't win it at all, but next year we need to win and we need you on the fields. And it's all about availability for me. It is all about availability to me. So quick injury update. Again, I said Dexter scared us for a moment. We thought that he wasn't going to play. We come to find out that he is playing. Poston Adebo, though, might be playing. So Dex is playing for sure. He said no doubt in his mind. Poston Adebo might be good enough to go. That's two big get backs for the New York Giants. Poston Adebo, we've been waiting to see what he can actually bring. As soon as he started playing a little bit better, he ended up getting hurt, and we haven't seen him since. But we definitely need Poston Adebo to show up. So I'm curious about him. Also, Nubin, not sure what's going to happen with Nubin yet. Kayvon Thibodeau looked like he's still going to be out with the shoulder, but Dex seems like he's ready to go. I don't know how healthy he's going to be. Again, I feel like he should have got that surgery at the end of the, in the offseason, and he chose not to do that. But hopefully, we get Adebo and Nubin back too for this defense. All right. Got 90s Oro says Dart already has the best pocket awareness in the league right when you think the sack is coming, Pauls. He sidesteps, steps up, so he's better now than Allen or Mahomes was at this point. That's a great point. He does have a natural feel in the pocket. He feels the danger. Outside of that one free blitz that he missed, and that was more of a protection thing. Not having the right protection because was it Illuminor? It wasn't Illuminor's fault. It was actually Dart's fault when he got pummeled. What game was that? I think that might have been the Chargers game, actually. But yeah, no, he does have great pocket awareness. I didn't think it was going to be that good. I knew he was athletic. I knew he had some good poise. But to see him move the way that he moves in the pocket, like he's doing a lot of things that people in college, like we really didn't see that much in college, or we didn't think it was going to translate as well as it did, or as well as it is doing right now as far as his pocket awareness. But you're spot on. He has very good pocket awareness for sure. You said the Bears game? Nah, I'm talking. It was before the Bears game. He might have got. Yeah, he got sacked in the Bears game too. But no, it was. I want to say it was a Chargers game. When the edge came off free. It was one of those early starts for him, and I think it was the Chargers game. Might have been. Gangster says we will meet the Patriots next year in the Super Bowl. That'd be something. That would be something. Shout out to the 105 people in the building. Make sure you please hit that like button. I think you guys are hitting the like button because more and more people are showing up. Money Mike says Dart is a modern day Steve Young. I wish. I see it. I can see that. That's actually that's a good comparison. I like that. Yeah, because Steve Young, you don't. Wow, that's actually very good. I like that, Money Mike. Because when I remember Steve Young, obviously you remember him being solid quarterback, but also he would take off, and he was a lot more athletic than a lot of people gave him credit for, and he would get out of there and score some points. It was a couple touchdowns he ran for. I like that comparison. I like that a lot. Big Moose says great pocket presence and getting better every game. That's why I want to see him play. That's exactly why I want to see him play. For sure. He said the Niners game. Now, I think it was a Chargers game, but he took a couple sacks this year. I mean, come on. I mean, he hasn't been perfect back there. He's been very, very good, though. Yeah, yeah, it was the blindside hit. Blindside hit. Like everybody saw. Like I remember I was watching it on TV. Like he ain't see that man coming. Like free, and I thought it was Illuminor's fault at first, but no, they explained to me. It's inside thread out, and Illuminor did exactly what he was supposed to do, and that was pretty much Jaxson Dart. Yeah, that should have known that was a free runner. Guy was uncovered. Tyrone Hall, I appreciate the love and support. He says, gotta love Big Dash for his dedication. Now we here, man. I'm vibing, man. Saturday night, late night Giants talk, man. I'm here for y'all. Here for the Giants, here for the conversation. I love it. I'm having fun. Shout out to my man Paul. Says, Dash, you think Dart will now realize he isn't in college anymore? This kid needs to slide. We've been saying that all summer long. John Gruden told that man to slide. I think being out of these games, actually having a concussion, I think he learned his lesson. We'll find out. We'll find out for sure on Monday night. If you see him do the same thing he's been doing, try to run over a safety, or try to run over a cornerback or something like that, then you know he didn't learn a thing. We'll find out soon, because you know you're gonna take off at some point early in the game on Monday night. I can't wait for this game. I'm really excited about this game, man. I want to see the showcase between two young up and coming quarterbacks. I really do. Shout out to my man D-Dan in the building. Wagner says also, what Wagner say? Happy belated Thanksgiving. I appreciate it. Thank you for the love and support, man. And happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well. Hopefully you had a fantastic holiday. Steph Dawkins, what's going on, Steph? He says, Tate Reese Downs only picks. If not, I'm switching teams, Dash. I don't think Downs happens. I think the Giants are trading back, man. And if we trade back, the only one of those names that are probably going to be there still is Tate. Reese probably goes top 5. Downs should go top 5. And if we trade back, then we're not getting Downs or Reese. I like both of those guys. If you would have asked me months ago if the New York Giants would draft a safety, I would have said no, but we're not getting the kind of production that we should be getting from Newman right now. So I'm all in on Downs too. I do believe that we definitely need linebackers, not just one, but 2 linebackers, because we need some depth as well. I don't know what Micah McFadden's going to look like, and I don't know if Micah McFadden's getting re-signed. I would re-sign him. But I think that Bobby Okereke is gone because you saved $9 million, and because we're in the cap space that we are right now. I think Bobby Okereke, this is his last year as a Giant. $9 million, we gotta do that. Shout out to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He says, "Woo! Now it's time for Chris Mara to be fired." Listen, man, Champ, you got it almost done. I'm surprised you ain't say Joe Shane. Champ, let me know about how you feel about Joe Shane. It's not clear. Let me know how you feel about Joe Shane. Shout out to Phil with the $10 super chat. Says Dash, our future is super bright. If we stay top 3 and get capital, we win a few of these games, which is totally possible. Our future is just bright. Hope we stay top 3 and clean house. Yeah, I still want to clean house, man. Again, there's a couple of things that might get me to change my mind. Again, if Mike Kafka rattles off like 5 wins, which is, I know that's asking a lot, but 4 to 5 wins, he's going to be heavy in consideration. He's going to be in consideration just because that's what the Giants do. But if we clean house, man, you see all the names floating out there. You see all the names floating out there. People still talking Mike McCarthy, John Gruden. I still don't like any of those names. Clint Kubiak, Mike Shula, who, yes, I'm all in on Mike Shula. Jeff Hafley. A lot of people were talking about Jeff Hafley. I was talking about Jeff Hafley as well. And then I saw what the Giants did against that Green Bay defense, and I'm like, whoa. So Mike Kafka just made Hafley look a little bit crazy out there. So, I mean, Mike Shula right now is probably going to be one of those front runners for me. Again, Mike McCarthy, everybody seems to say that he should be the guy. I don't like that, though. I don't like Mike McCarthy at all. I saw what he did with the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, they won 12 games, but that roster was stacked. What did he do when he get to the playoffs? Pretty much one and done. The Big Moo. Shout out to the Big Moo with the $5 super chat. Says, Big Dash, your order of importance of re-signing Jermaine, McFadden, Wandell, Flott, Belly, Bobby O is fine. He did such a better, it's so much better under Wink, not Bowen. Well, I really do believe that Bobby O is gone. because, again, you save $9 million. There's other ways to get more money as well. But in order of importance, is Jermaine Illuminor is number one for me. Jermaine Illuminor is number one, and then Flott, and then Wandell. And then you can actually flip-flop Wandell. I want to talk about that too, man, because just last Saturday, last late night Giants talk, there was a lot of people in here talking about Wandell Robinson crazy, and he went out there and had a fantastic game. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. But yeah, Jermaine Illuminor, Flott, Wandell, McFadden, then Billy. That'll be my order of importance. I only see us signing maybe two of those guys though. I only see two of those guys, maybe three. And asking for more than that is pushing it. And that part makes me mad because we should have backups in the building and we don't. So we got to end up spending a lot of money or trading back and getting a lot of draft capital. But once you do that, draft picks are a crapshoot. So I blame Joe Shane for that. 4 drafts, 4 free agency periods, and we still got so many holes and we still don't have depth. That's an F for the GM, in my opinion. But I'm not going to bash Joe Shane tonight unless I feel like it. I'm going to leave it alone for right now. But Jermaine, Wandell, Flott, McFadden, that's the order. I love Daniel Bellinger. Absolutely love Daniel Bellinger, but it's going to be a numbers game. If the price is right, I'm damn sure bringing Bellinger back. If he asks for something crazy, which I don't think he is, then you got to move on. But also, if it's an entirely new regime, it's how they view these players too. So don't forget Dane Belton is also on that list too, but we can't pay everybody. We're going to say goodbye to a lot of people, a lot of role players. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Got 90s Aura says, what do you think about each team plays a division rival first and last game every season? 2 going to start in the hole. 2 get a head start. I want Philly week 1 and Indiana Jones week 2. We play the Colts next year? Do we? I know we got the opponents. Obviously, we don't have the schedule, but we have the opponents. We play the Colts next year? 90s Aura? Maybe. I don't know. I tell you what though, that's going to be interesting too, because right now Jones is hurt too, man. Was it fibula, right? He got like a minor fracture in his fibula. I saw some practice clips of him. He didn't look good, but he's still going to play. So I don't know, man. It might be a one and done season for Daniel Jones with the Colts, man. He might go back to Minnesota because Minnesota might need him. But yeah, we'll see what happens though. But yeah, I'm with the whole starting the season with a division rival. I wanted the Redskins first this year, and it happened. Last year I wanted Philly first. It didn't happen. But now I'm with it, man. I'm so used to it anyway. We're used to it. How many times did we open up the season with the Dallas Cowboys? I want Philly early too. I would love to get Philly early. I want to go up, man. I think this team is going to be better. And I sound like a broken record, right? Always. Isaac Moore says McVay for GM and Chris Shula for head coach combo. If we can get McVay here, that'd be fantastic. There are rumors out there talking about him wanting to change the scenery possibly, and then also wanting to get away from coaching but wanting to be more front office, which probably suits him too because he's a freaking genius. He's already doing a lot of that in LA. Him and the GM work hand in hand, so he knows what he's doing. He can eyeball talent like crazy. He can identify talent. But it's going to take a lot for him to come to the Giants. He got bad blood and bad hoodoo with the Giants because we fired his grandpa so many years ago. Ian Campbell says Lions game was on offense and defense, only 1 score in the second half. True. My man, is it Vaporizer? That's right. I remember the name. Vaporizer says, what's going on, Dash? Thanks for streaming. Love the content as always. Gotta say, I feel like depending on how this game goes, we're going to see a completely different team after the bye. Got a feeling. I mean, when we come back from the bye, we got the Commanders. And nothing will make me more happy than beating the Commanders. I would love to beat the Commanders. And what's crazy, man? I don't feel the same way that I felt at the beginning of the season because talking about a crash and burn, falling out of cloud 9, like the Commanders fell hard. And if I'm not mistaken, they only got 1 more win than us, right? I think they only got 3 wins. But man, boy, did they fell hard And you don't want to laugh at other people's pain, but the way these Commander fans was talking trash all summer long, and we're already bad, so I can say what I want to say. It's not like karma's going to help. Yeah, I was happy to see these guys fall off cloud nine for sure. Champ, what you got for me, Champ? He says, woo, Shane has to go now. Thank you. He has put together a bad roster. Too many of them are busts, including Abdul Carter. Woo, there's a statement. Champ always gonna give me a statement. Forget it. Let's talk about it. We got 5 games left in the season. Let's talk about it. We're gonna change subjects really quickly. I'm going all the way down to the bottom of the comments. If I missed your comment, I apologize. But I gotta ask you guys a question. Let me get to the super chat first. So I missed one. Shout out to the Big Mood $2 super chat. Says Big Dash, what kind of draft capital we get at top 5? Depending on how far you go back. Like if you go from where we're at, I'll just use what we have right now as an example. We're at pick 2. Yeah, we're at pick 2. I don't want to trade out of the top 10. So if we trade back to to where the Raiders are, something like that, I think you get, because I think right now the Raiders got 6. I still think you can get a 2027 first round if you give up that, and you can also get the first this year and most likely a second this year as well. You might get a little bit extra too outside of that, but we're only talking 4 spots, but it is in the top 2. So you're definitely getting 2 ones out of the deal. Most likely getting another 2 out of the deal, and then where you get your 3rd and your 4th rounders just depends. Are you getting all these picks in 2026 outside of the first round in 2027, or are you going to pick up those picks in 2027? For me, I want a 3rd round pick this year for sure. So if we can get a first back in a 2027 first, and then an additional 2nd and a 3rd, I'm sold. I'm sold on that. Now, if we trade back further than that, let's say we trade back into like the teens or something, which that's shaky, because when you're looking at the wide receivers, because that's when I want to target a wide receiver, then I got to get the Kings ransom for that. I need like 2 1s, 2 2s if I'm going all the way back to the teens, and I need something on day 3. But no matter what, we should get a haul. And depending on who the GM is, they should get a haul. They know what the value is in this pick, especially if a team is trading up for a quarterback. That's the other thing. But I want to talk about this right now. And I see a lot of these comments. I'm going to try to get back to them, but I want to talk about this Abdul Carter thing, right? So we got 5 games left, right? 5 games left, 12 games played. What are your thoughts on Abdul Carter, everybody, so far? Abdul Carter. I just remember the hype going into this season. I remember the hype going into the draft. I remember Abdul Carter asking for 56. I remember arguing with people saying that he shouldn't even breathe the word or of thinking to get 56. And people like, well, he can have 56. He's the next Micah Parsons. How we feel? How do we feel about Abdul Carter? In the comment section, please. And I'm going to get to these comments. Shout out to that dark friend with the $10 super chat. Says, wasn't big on Carter at the draft. Size and experience weren't great. However, Bowen sucks and had no idea how to use his players. So I'm not out on Carter yet. I'm not out either. I'm not out either because you can see the talent. The talent is there. Does he need more development? Is it the coaching? Is it the scheme? I'll say yes to a lot of those. I don't expect major changes, and this is a great segue too, because we're gonna get to talking about Charlie Bullen and our expectations for Charlie Bullen. But I just want to see what you guys say about Carter. Hold on. Money Mike says Abdul will be fine. He's definitely not a bust. I agree with that. Q Burrow, the Q Burrow diplomat says, I've been saying it. Yes, call him a bust. At very least, it's New York City tough love. Kid got to step up. I like that. I like that point of view. Jessa says he's just a guy. Called him a jag. Ron B's called him trash. We can't do it. We can't go that far, Ron. Trash? I understand. That's harsh. Jessa says currently he's just a guy. Gangster says Abdul Carter 5 out of 10. That's crazy. Byron says solid. Is it Shin? Shin says he's going to be fine. He He has a high percentage of pressures. That is a fact. King of the almost. That's what we titled him. Byron says just needs to be used right. OP, what's going on? OP says if Carter's position coach can't get the best out of him, then I don't know. Chris says Carter is famous for being famous. Wow. Carter gives me Kayvon Thibodeau vibe. That's what Gangstar said. 90 Aura says I thought he was better off the ball. He crashes downhill quickly and with confidence. I thought that too, man. I thought that too. And you know what's crazy about it? If we plan on keeping, now this is not a popular opinion. In fact, this is an unpopular opinion. And shout out to my man NYG, Mr. Unpopular Opinion himself. I might move him. I might move him off ball. That's one of our biggest holes right now. Is off ball linebacker. I might move him, but a lot of people say, "Dash, you're crazy," because you don't. He's an edge rusher. He's a third round. I mean, he's a third overall pick. You got to let him play. I'm curious to see what Charlie Bullen does with him though, because if anybody can get the best out of these outside linebackers, and you figure Brian Burns is already doing a fantastic job. Kayvon Thibodeau, massive improvement this year. I'm sorry that he's injured right now, but Abdul Carter is the one. If anybody can use him the correct way, hopefully it's Charlie Bullen, and hopefully he puts him in position to make plays. And hopefully in the next 5 games, maybe we get 5 sacks in the next 5 games, if not more than that. Imagine that, man. Imagine as soon as Charlie Bullen is calling a defense and makes a little bit of tweaks here and there, all of a sudden Abdul Carter gets there. He's not the king of the almost anymore. He's actually getting to the quarterback. I'll be pissed off. We saw Myles Garrett get 13 sacks in 4 weeks. Now, I'm not saying that Abdul Carter's doing anything like that, but I wouldn't mind getting 5 in these last 5 weeks. I don't think that's a lot to ask. I need Brian Burns to get back on it too, man, because we can't have Myles Garrett just crushing Michael Strahan's record, because that's what it's looking like. It's going to get crushed. Myles Garrett is on his way to, they play the 49ers tomorrow, so he might get a couple tomorrow too. So we'll see what happens. Humble says hopefully Dex goes off Monday night. I'm waiting for Dex still. Dex got more interceptions than sacks this year. That's crazy, right? It's crazy. Olivier Vernon 2.0, king of the almost. You know who also was king of the almost before he got here was Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, he kind of had that same stigma of being a guy that was get high pressures but wasn't getting the sacks. Then he came here and became a dog. So maybe it's a scheme. Maybe it's a scheme. Ron B says they need to move Carter around instead of stationary. That's what they were trying to do early. But whenever you move him around, you kind of know what's going to happen. Like they give it away. Like I think they need to do more stunts. If you're going to bring him from the edge, wrap him around to the A gap, maybe to the B gap, something like that. Get creative with him. I do believe he needs to get stronger though. Without a doubt, he needs to get stronger, and he needs a better secondary move. We see the spin move. Obviously, we see the hand fighting, and that's cool because for the most part that works. But whenever somebody gets their paws on him, it's a wrap. You see, if anybody gets inside on into his shoulder pads, it's over. The rep is over. He relies a lot on his speed. He got to get stronger, and I say that respectfully. This is a critique, respectfully. Humble says the demon dart is back. I'm about to show my age right now, man. I'm about to show my age because I don't like the word demon as a positive. And I'm old, and I understand that. I don't like it. I understand what you mean by that. And Dart will be back, and he should be able to make some moves. But that's the culture. We spend a lot of negative words into positive words, but I just don't like that one. But shout out to my man Humble in the building. Luann says, I say bring in Rex Ryan for defense. What did Rex Ryan say the other day? I like the idea of Rex Ryan. I don't like Rex Ryan anymore. I like what he could possibly bring, but also he brings all that other baggage now. So he's been in the media so long now that I don't think he gets another chance in the NFL. It'd be a long shot for Rex to get. I like the way he plays defense though, and I like the way that his teams play for him or his players play for him. That's what I like about Rex Ryan. But what was he just talking about? He said something about somebody. Oh, he was talking about Shedeur Sanders, so they don't even count. He wasn't talking about the Giant. He was talking about Shedeur. That's what pissed me off, but I ain't gonna talk about Shedeur today. Humble says no excuse for Carter this Monday night. Put May on his ass. I hope so. I hope we get to him a few times. Now, May is athletic, obviously. May is in the discussion for MVP, second year. And that's another thing, too, man. For all those people before Brian Daboll got fired, they said you can't get rid of Brian Daboll because, you know, you got a rookie quarterback. And look at the Patriots. They had a rookie quarterback last year. He got a new head coach that knew what he was doing, and look at him now. Now, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk because Daboll's already fired. I'm just saying that's the point that a lot of people were making. Meanwhile, you see the Bears, you see the Patriots right now with head coaches, with new head coaches, with holdovers at quarterbacks, both rookies, and they're playing very well. You see the Bears right now. I think the Bears are fool's gold, honestly, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Ron B says maybe get Carl Banks to work with Carter. I wish Carl wanted to. Carl can coach too, man. I wish he did want to coach, but I don't think it happens. Shout out to K Swiss Gaming with the $5 super chat. He says all love from Winnipeg Dash. That's what's up. Shout out to Winnipeg. He says me and my dad love watching your channel. How do you think Jaxson performs against New England? Also, who's your X factor? That's a great question as far as X factor. After last week, I would say Wan'Dale Robinson, but I also want to see. I want to see Hodgins with Dart. I want to see if it's the same kind of connection that Winston had with Hodgins right away, because you figure Hodgins was new to Winston, Hodgins was going to be new to Dart, and it didn't matter. 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns for Hodgins. I think that's one of the X factors there. I think that Dart does well. I think we see the same Dart that we've been seeing. I think we use the tight ends. I think we use the running game. Right now, the offensive line is the MVP for the New York Giants for me. Especially that unit is playing fantastic. So yeah, I think Dart has a good game. I can see him going, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. One in the air, 1 on the ground, possibly. I can see that happening, or I can see another game because where are they weak right now? I'm trying to think where they're weak right now. They got Gonzo at cornerback. Safety might be a little bit vulnerable, but they got a good run defense too, man. So we might have to stick to the air. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I know my mother said it's cold in Jersey, but this game is in New England. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 total touchdowns. I can see that happening. I can see 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. But Dart gonna get 1 on the ground for sure. But shout out to you and your pops in Winnipeg, man. Winnipeg. One love to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Luann said I like Rex. Yeah, I know you stay calling out Rex. You've been calling out Rex for a while. New York State of Mind said Rex is washed. He's an entertainer now, man. Again, I like the idea of Rex. I don't like Rex right now for our situation. I like his scheme. I like what he brings to the table, but I don't know if he still got that in him. So I'm gonna let Rex be, just like I'm gonna let Bill Belichick be too, because some people are still calling for Bill Belichick. Like, are you watching the same thing that we're watching? Bill Belichick is I'm not going to say that out of respect for Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick needs to go ahead and ride off into the sunset, enjoy that money, amongst other things, and just chill, please. I don't want Bill Belichick here. Again, when you get a guy like Bill Belichick, I think you got an expiration date at a head coach, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Humble says, Dash, I agree on the Bears. Giants had them. Just think about all the teams that are leading their divisions, and we were in all those games. We beat the Chargers, obviously. We beat the Eagles, right? And then, we'll see what happens with them. If we play the Patriots well and have them on the ropes too, that means all of these teams that are at the top of the division we played with, because we played with the Chiefs, Obviously we played with the Broncos. We played with all these teams, man. Like when I think about it, it pisses me off. But also when I think about this, I think it'll be a complete turnaround next year because we've been competitive with all these good teams. If we could just finish games, if we can get the right coaching staff in here, the Giants can go from, let's just say we end the season, 4-13. We could possibly be 12-5 next year. Shout out to Scatterable because he said 12-5 last year. I mean next year, and I laughed at it, and then I thought about it. If we can be competitive, make some changes, get the right defensive mind in here, continue to put up points on offense, it's not that far fetched. We could talk about that right now. It's November 29th, 2025. We can make those type of predictions right now, and hopefully it doesn't sound too crazy. That's what I'm waiting on. Humble says is posting back right now. It looks like he should be playing. But we thought he was going to be playing 2 weeks ago, and then he got into the warm-ups and couldn't go. So right now he did practice. So we'll see what happens. Dex is playing though. Dex is playing. Tibbs is not playing. That's what I saw. I think Carl Banks said that too, but we'll find out for sure tomorrow, unless they already ruled him out, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I don't think he practiced today either. So it is what it is. Vaporizer says, Dart coming back from concussion. I would caution everyone that he may make a mistake or two that are uncharacteristic of him, but I see the upset. Got trap game written all over it. Now, I'll say this. Yes, he had a concussion, and after the concussion, he came back and still completed passes the same game before he ended up leaving. That following week, he was at practice. Obviously non-contact. He was at practice. Oh no, I'm tripping. Not last week. The week so he missed it. He missed that following week, and then the week after that, he was dancing like on Wednesday. It was non-contact. He was, they thought he was going to be ready to play, and then they decided to hold him out again that Friday. He's ready to go. The way that man dancing on the sideline and doing all these celebrations, I think the fuzziness, the cloudiness is gone as far as for the concussion, and I think he's going to look like Jaxson Dart. Now, if he makes some uncharacteristic mistakes, he's still a rookie at the end of the day. I hope that we don't blame the concussion on any mistakes that he makes moving forward. You know what I mean? He's still a rookie. He still makes mistakes. And it might not be the concussion. It might just be him being a rookie. Byron says 300 yards. You might have to rely on his arm, man. Like again, that defense, that rush defense for the Patriots is solid. Luann says Rex is not washed, nor is Belichick or Gruden. Luann. Them dudes is washed, man. They are washed by the definition of being washed, respectfully. Bill Belichick at UNC, have you seen him? John Gruden, fair enough. I don't know what's up with Gruden. Gruden had, issues of why he got fired from the Raiders, but the Raiders weren't winning when he was there for that stint. Because he signed a 10-year, $100 million deal and then got fired after, 4 seasons? And they weren't competitive. And then Rex is on TV. Rex is on TV. Man, Dickens says Parcells better than Belichick. Of course, I'll say that. I'll run with that, too. Now, there's arguments against that, but I'm always side with Bill Parcells over anybody. Simeon, shout out to my man Simeon. He says Bill's little girlfriend would really show her ass in New Jersey. Good thing we ain't got to worry about that, Simeon. We ain't got to worry about that at all. At all. Not at all. Bill ain't coming here, man. That'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy if Bill came here. Vaporizes Dash just thought it's just a thought. But head coaching candidate odds, I believe, will be Chris Shula, Mike McCarthy, Mike Kafka, Jeff Hafley, in that order, and based on their coordinators. I would agree with that. I really don't know. I would actually put Mike McCarthy first right now. And I don't agree with it, but I will put Mike McCarthy first because that's what the Giants are looking for. They're looking for a guy with head coaching experience, somebody that's done it before and has been successful, that has Mike McCarthy written over it. I don't like that at all. Chris Shula is one on my list of the guys that people have been talking about. I still like Aubrey Pleasant from the LA Rams. I like him as well. But again, I think we're a coaching cycle too early for Aubrey Pleasant. So I'm right here with Chris Shula. Chris Shula is number one on my list right now. And Hafley is Hafley. He got the Boston College connection. He has the New Jersey connection. So he's there. And then Mike Kafka, again, if Mike Kafka can win some games, just imagine this. If Mike Kafka beats the Commanders and he beats the Cowboys and he beats the Raiders, which could happen, can beat the Vikings too, because the Vikings look like Vikings don't even have a quarterback. When you really think about it, the Giants could win 4 games out of the 5. And if that happens, hello, Mike Kafka. I'm telling you, that's what'll happen. It'll be Mike Kafka if that happens. Especially if the offense looks good. Now, the only thing, if that does happen, we're talking hypotheticals right now. If that happens, I would still want him to hire a different DC, defensive coordinator. Unless Charlie Bullen does something amazing, which I don't think, I'm not expecting anything amazing from this defense just because we changed defensive coordinators. I expect it to look a little bit better as far as, the edge usage. I don't think we're just going to turn around and be able to stop the run just because we got Shane out of here. That would be fantastic if it did happen that way. But even if they were to bring back Kafka, I would want him to hire a brand new DC. Get somebody in here with some more experience. And it's hard to say that too, because again, I don't know what this defense is going to look like under Charlie Bullen. We'll see what happens. So we'll find out in 2 days, man. I'm mad about having to wait till Monday night too, man. I wish this game was tomorrow. We got 48 more hours. It's too long to be waiting. Luann says Rex wanted to coach anywhere. Anybody, if in any opening, Rex just wants to coach. Let's be honest. It ain't got nothing to do with just being the Giants or the Jets, anything like that. He wants to coach. He misses it. And I understand him missing it. But I can't do it. Simeon says Bill is 73 with more pressing things on his mind. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, Bill. I can't even think about Bill Belichick like that. I'm sorry. What about Frank Reich? Where's he at right now? I wouldn't have minded Frank a couple years ago. After what happened in Carolina, which he got sabotaged by his own owner, because remember he wanted C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young, but now it's kind of like a wash right now because CJ ain't looking like he should, and then Bryce Young is looking okay. So it's a wash right there. But yeah, Frank, I mean, that's another name. Lou Anarumo is another one that a lot of people say are our favorite. I don't like that either. I mean, I would love him as a defensive coordinator. I would love that, but I don't know. Lou Anarumo, and I believe he's a Jersey guy too. Grew up a Giants fan. I just don't want these older coaches, man. I want somebody that's going to be here for a while. I don't want a guy with an expiration date. I keep saying that. That's my trademark right now. Coaches with expiration dates. I don't want that. Luann says Kafka is going to stay. Dart loves his system. Now, here's another question for you guys. I'm gonna take the temperature in the room again. I'm going all the way to the bottom of the comments so I can see these come across. Now, let's just say, right? Let's just say Mike Kafka is not the guy. He doesn't get the job, right? And we go elsewhere for the head coaching job. Do you think, especially with the way the offense and Jaxson Dart is looking, do you think whoever we hire would consider Mike Kafka as an offensive coordinator? Then also, do you think with Mike Kafka being an interim head coach now, if he does not get the head coaching job, because he will interview for it, it's just something that's going to happen. Would he even accept going back to the OC after being the interim head coach? Let me know about that. Because if we can get like a Chris Shula and then, keep Mike Kafka as an OC, that's not bad to me. That's not bad to me. But again, we're talking about pride, and this guy's already the interim head coach. How many interim head coaches have not gotten a job and then stayed with the team or were brought on? I don't think too many people have done that. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Would he do that? You think Mike Kafka would do that? I don't know. I think it's a pride thing. I don't think he would do that. Luann says maybe, yeah. Tony Benino, shout out to my man Tony, says, I hope not. Don Devine says he may get a job elsewhere. I wouldn't mind keeping him as OC. Yeah, he might get somewhere else. But he'll definitely be on the staff. He has a future as a coach, and it might be a future head coach at some point in time too. I think his best chance is right now with the New York Giants. Because when you think about possible openings, we already know that the Tennessee job is going to be open. Giants job is going to be open. Who else might get fired? You might see Cleveland get rid of Stefanski. That might happen. Who knows what happens with the Raiders? Pete Carroll ends up staying there or not. Who else? I know there's some other people that might get fired too, but it might be a few openings right now. But right now, there's definitely 2 openings. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm just curious. Eric James says, keep the O-line, Coach Dash. Absolutely. Carmen Brasillo needs to stay. Carmen Brasillo definitely needs to stay. Christopher Tony says, we need a proven head coach. Christopher Tony. Just let me know who's that proven head coach that you want. Let me know. I'm thinking you lean to Mike McCarthy. Let me know, Chris. Rev says if he win 5 games and they don't hire him, I wouldn't stay. Now it makes a lot of sense because you already got the interim head coach job. If you don't get the head coach job, I probably wouldn't stay either. As a fan, I would love that for him to stay on as OC, but like you gotta worry about relationships with whoever the new head coach is going to be, and if he has a relationship with Kafka. Like the only time I see that happening, if you get somebody like a Mike McCarthy, maybe not even Mike McCarthy, if you get a guy like Lou Anarumo, then you could possibly see Mike Kafka staying. But I'm not messing with that either, man. I'm not messing with that. Chris says, screw McCarthy. That's a fact. I don't want McCarthy either. I'm just saying, when you say a proven head coach, whenever people say that, proven head coach, the only proven head coach that's available right now is Mike McCarthy that people are talking about. John Gruden, yeah, but it's slim chance that he could actually gets a head coaching job. Doug Peterson's another one if you want to say a proven head coach. Like people were throwing out names like Matt Nagy. Like he might be a proven head coach, but proven to suck. Pause. Even Spags. Spags as a head coach is not a great idea either. Goldie said, Lou Anarumo says, take your keyboard off of cap locks. That's crazy. Ron B says, I like Antonio Pierce. I like Antonio Pierce, so I wouldn't mind him on the staff, but I wouldn't want him as a head coach though. He got a lot of learning to do, and I say that respectfully too, because I'm listen to me saying that to somebody that actually played in the NFL. Respectfully, I say that. Shout out to my man Hirsch. Said, hey Dash, what's going on, Hirsch? How you doing? Chris, this is a great point. Great point, Chris. He says McCarthy hides behind awesome quarterbacks, but still can't get it done. That's my main argument against Mike McCarthy. That's my main argument. He had prime Aaron Rodgers in those Green Bay rosters in an absolutely weak NFC North, and he won a bunch of division titles too with Green Bay, but got into the playoffs outside of 1 year, and it pretty much was one and done. I think he got to the NFC Championship twice, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But the whole point is they was pretty much one and done. 2 of those years was against the Giants. Eli beat McCarthy twice. It is what it is. And then when he got to Dallas, everybody keeps talking about the 12-5 season. So he had 12 wins with the Cowboys. And the Cowboys were pretty much one and done. And those rosters was crazy. And Dak Prescott at the time was playing at an MVP level. And they were still most likely one and done. Like listen, I can't do it with this Mike McCarthy stuff, man. A lot of people keep talking about Mike McCarthy too. Let me go ahead and get here. Make sure I didn't miss a chat. I didn't miss a chat. Cool. Spags head coach experience was yeah, man, he was bad. Spags was bad with the Rams. Those bad teams too. Spags was bad. He's a lifelong defensive coordinator. Can go down as one of the best defensive coordinators, ever. So I think he's good. Man, Dicker, man, come on, man. I feel like coming to America, man. We talking about coaches. Everybody have a conversation. Somebody got to bring up Rocky Marciano. Mike Tomlin ain't happening, man. Mike Tomlin is not leaving Pittsburgh. It is not happening. That's the Rocky Marciano of the coaching conversation. Everybody want to bring up Rocky Marciano. No, nobody want to don't bring up Mike Tomlin, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. Is it Freedom 341 or Freedom? Gruden resume isn't great. Look at y'all, got me in trouble already. Soon as you talk about Mike Tomlin, soon as somebody mentioned Mike Tomlin, my wife heard it. My wife heard it, and she cussing me out already. And I ain't even the one that said it. Leave Mike Tomlin out of these conversations. Y'all know Mrs. Dash is a Steelers fan. Loves Mike Tomlin. That is not happening. Simeon, that's the fact. Simeon, Tomlin will die in black and gold. That's a fact. That's a fact. Eric James says, how about Harbaugh, Dash? I wouldn't mind John Harbaugh. I wouldn't mind Harbaugh. Harbaugh had some good rosters. Like when the Ravens were very competitive, those were some good rosters. You figure when he went to the Super Bowl, damn, how long ago was that? That was, yeesh. How long ago was that when he went to when he won the Super Bowl with Flacco, if I'm not mistaken? And then now he's just riding on the coattails of Lamar Jackson. How good is John Harbaugh? That's my question. How good is he for real? He might be a good leader. Remember, how good of a ball coach is Harbaugh? He beat his brother in the Super Bowl. I know that. I don't know. Money Mike says Harbaugh overrated to me. His brother is way better than him. Shout out to my man, Money Mike. We've been on the same wave tonight, Money Mike. That's a fact. Shout out to the 136 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button, please. It does more than you even know. Just a like button, and it's free. Christopher Tony says Shula, Harbaugh. Who you got, Dash? I'm going. If you gave me the choice between those two, I'm going with Shula. Give me the younger upcoming defensive minded head coach. I already want a defensive minded head coach anyway. If I got it my way, it would be a defensive minded head coach, and then you better knock it out of the park with an offensive coordinator. Because I think right now that this offense is ready to go. And surprisingly, going into the season, all the question marks were for the offense. And it was because we just felt, I drank the Kool-Aid too. We had a top 15, top 10 defense on paper. And Brian Burns said it. We haven't done anything yet. I remember that in the summer. I remember when he said that. I thought he was just being modest. And he was absolutely right. They didn't do anything this season. Just in the basement on defense this year, and that's crazy to me. Crazy. I like Clint. So who was that? Ian said, how about Clint? I like Clint. Tony, that's a fact. Great players make good coaches. That is true. Luann, Greg Williams. That's a name. Greg Williams is a name. Remember, what was he doing? He was paying players for dirty hits. Right? Ain't that same Greg Williams? Paying players for dirty hits? What was it called? Bounty Gate? Something he was doing, remember? Was he on the Saints then? I think he might have been on the Saints then. Or either was it the Command? No, it was the Redskins then. But Greg Williams, he was aggressive defensive coordinator though. I like Greg Williams. He might have been he might have been a piece of trash, but his defense was fire. Greg Williams is a good defensive coordinator, but he's a defensive coordinator in college. Now maybe we can get him. Where is he at? Bounty Gate. That's what it was. Yeah, Bounty Gate. I had playing payers for dirty hits. Bounty Gate. Yeah, thank you. Something like that, right? Bounty Gate. There we go. Yeah. That's crazy. Got 90s aura. That name is crazy. That's crazy. Bounty Gate. Yeah. I mean, that made me forget what I was talking about. 90s aura. Sheesh. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, but he was the Saints. He was on the Saints. What was I talking about before that? I gotta go back now. Whoa. Talking about coaches still. Okay, yeah. Defensive coordinators. Okay. All right. Thank you, coaches. Yeah. 90s or you wild, bro. Let me get back to my notes so I can see when. Yeah, so I already talked about Dallas and how I thought about Dallas and the way that they're playing right now. Dallas is a real threat. If their record was a little bit better, I don't think a team wants to play Dallas in the playoffs right now. Offensive coordinator, Tennessee coaches, Saints. Okay. And then I think Philly is washed. Yo, he said he threw Dash way off. Nah, he did. He threw me off. But I want to talk about these Eagles, yo. The Eagles, I think the Eagles are washed. And it's crazy to say that too because they still leading the division. But I think the Eagles are washed. It's something's broken in Philadelphia, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. They can't get right. Jalen Hurts. It brings me so much joy that Philadelphia is losing these games, and they look horrible with all this talent. All this talent, they can't put it together on offense. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, and you can't get it right. They got Dallas Goedert. I'm loving it. Man, Dickinson seems like Cam Newton was spot on about James. Listen, man, I don't know what's wrong with Jalen Hurts, man. Shout out Roll Tide too, man. Roll Tide. I was a fan of Jalen Hurts. I hate that he's on the Eagles. I hate him because he is an Eagle. But it brings me so much joy to see the Philadelphia Eagles struggling. You know what would make my day is a one and done for the Philadelphia Eagles. That will make my entire year. I will feel a little bit better. Shout out to Big Chiller. I'm sorry, Big Chill. Big Chills. He says, Brandon Brown as GM, Shula as head coach. Let's design some new jerseys, no pun. While we're at it, a new era in New York. I want Joe Shane gone, right? And Brandon Brown would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect situation because the New York Giants do not like wholesale changes, especially when it comes to the front office. But if you keep Brandon Brown, guess what? You don't have to make wholesale changes when it comes to the front office. You don't got to hire a whole new scouting staff, and you don't got to hire all these new human computers and analytics teams and nothing like that. You keep a lot of things the same. Now, Brandon Brown wants to tweak a couple of things that you can, but Brandon Brown, I would have fired Joe Shane 4 weeks ago. I would have fired Joe Shane really last year. I would have kept Brandon Brown. I would have. So I like the Brandon Brown idea. And again, right now, Shula is first on my list. I can't. Brian Flores was first on my list, obviously, with the situation with him suing the NFL, suing the Giants. That's probably not going to happen. Then it was Aubrey Pleasant, and then after that, it's Mike Shula. I like Mike Shula a lot, not only because he's with the Rams and they got a fantastic defense, but because he's also been working under McVay. And Sean McVay's His coaching tree right now is the most successful coaching tree out there. Either the Shanahan tree or the McVay tree, and guess what? Both of those guys came out of the same, coaching tree. Both of those guys have, and now they created their own trees. That command, just think about that staff that the Washington Redskins had. What was it, 2013? You had Shanahan, you had Sean McVay, you had Mike McDaniel, all on the same coaching staff, and they couldn't do anything. That was a Hall of Fame coaching staff. Now, Jay Gruden was the head coach, but he had a hell of a staff, and a lot of those guys were from Papa Shanahan's. He just kept a lot of those guys there. But man, you said McVay. Say James Hollis. Shout out to my man James. What's going on, James? He said McVay tree needs an OC. I mean, yeah. Shout out to my man Simeon with the $5 super chat. Says there's a meme of Jalen Hurts in a blonde wig with the caption "Hurts when Saquon doesn't get 200 yards." I haven't seen that one. I'm gonna look that one up though. I take so much joy in the Philadelphia Eagles losing. It's not even right. I shouldn't even feel this way, but I do, and I don't feel bad. I don't. I can't stand Philadelphia. At all. At all. Man, Dinka says Tony Dungy had the best coaching tree in my opinion. Wait a minute. Dungy had a good tree. Dungy did have a great tree. You got Tomlin that came out of that tree. Dungy did have a good tree. I don't know if it's the best tree though. D-Dan says Dash their downfall is wondrous. Yeah, it is. Chris says Van Joseph seems like a good name. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to go back to Charlie Bullen because I didn't get a chance to talk about that. And we are an hour and 18 minutes already into the stream. So everybody, I'm going to ask, it's question time again. Charlie Bullen, what are your realistic expectations for Charlie Bullen? What kind of change do you really expect to see from on this defense with Charlie Bullen? And I know I talked about Charlie Bullen a little bit earlier, but I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive, right? So Charlie Bullen, 18 years coaching, 12 years in the NFL, was on the Miami Dolphins staff under Matt Burke, who's the defensive coordinator for the Texans, aggressive style defensive coordinator. Then also was under Vance Joseph, too. And I'm sitting here and that's another aggressive style defensive coordinator. We just played them against, when we played Denver. Aggressive. So he's coming from a coaching tree, not even a coaching tree, but just two coaching staff, defensive staffs that were very, very aggressive on defense. When you look at the Texans, they got two of the top edge rushers. They got Will Anderson. They got Danielle Hunter. When you look at Denver, you got Benito and you got the guy that was talking trash about Dart. I can't remember his name right now. Cooper. And then look at the Giants. We got two edge rushers as well. Are we going to be more aggressive? Are we going to see more blitzing? Are we going to see more stunts, some twists possibly? What is the defensive alignment going to look like? And those are the little changes that you're going to be able to make. It's way easier to make changes on defense, in my opinion, than it is to make changes on offense, because a lot of these defenses come out of the same schemes as far as your fronts, your defensive alignment, but then a lot of the verbiage on the back end, cover twos, cover threes, quarters, all this other stuff. It's pretty universal. Now the packages might be a little bit different, but I think you can make way more changes to a defense than you can to offense. So with that being said, and I see a lot of people saying it too, way more aggressive, very aggressive. I hope so, man. The team has been wanting it. The captains of the team, the Dexers, your Brian Burns, these guys told you that they want to play more aggressive. They even pulled you to the side. They pulled Bowen to the side and asked him or told him that they want to be more aggressive, and we didn't see it. So I really do think that Charlie Bullen, and again, this is his first time actually calling plays. He did say in his presser that, you know, in situations as a positional coach, you think about certain things that you, or how you would handle certain situations, or see some things that you might have done differently. He already admitted to that. So now that you got the chance, man, now, you know, you're in control of this defense. It's really gonna be one of those nights where you're like, okay, I don't know what to expect from this New York Giants defense, but all I know, it better look better than what Shane Bowen was doing. And I'm glad that we got Dexter Lawrence back, because I went this whole week thinking he wasn't going to be back for this game. But that's just one of the bigger pieces. And then now that you know that Dexter's going to play, how are you going to use his defense? How are you going to align these guys? Are we going to see more of that hybrid 4-man front, or are we going to stick with the odd man front? So I'm curious to see. Let me get some of these comments. I did see some people talking. Shout out to Rev. Rev said very aggressive. Simeon says, I have no idea what to expect. Me neither, man. Me neither. Christopher Tony says, not much more aggression. Stop the run and better third down defense. I hope so. Luann said the Giants will win the division next season. I hope so. Ron B says, I hope he doesn't coach passive like Bowen. I don't think, that's one thing that can't happen. And I think he knows that. He knows what got Bowen fired. And the only thing that he has to, the only thing he definitely shouldn't do is what Bowen was doing. And that was being passive. I wonder if we play more press man than off man. I think that would be a good twist or a tweak to this defense. Or do we go full on zone on the back end? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what to expect from him. They tried to get him to spill the beans a little bit. He was sharp enough not to fall for it. The beat writers tried to get him to say, you know, are we going to expect more aggressiveness? And he said maybe. And I like the way he answered that, because to me, maybe means hell yeah. You better, because we have not been aggressive enough. So it seems like that. My man Pim, shout out to Pim. How you been, man? Says blitz more, man zone hybrid coverages, exotic Miami style. I like it. Man Dicker says, speaking of the Texans, word here in Houston is DeMeco Ryan will be fired after the season. That may be our DC right there. You got the number one defense in the league. Who did they just beat? Didn't they just beat the Eagles? No, who did Houston just beat last week? They beat a top team too. Who was it? It wasn't the Colts. Whatever. But Houston, I heard about those rumors. I don't think so. I think CJ Stroud is finally coming back too. They need to hold on to DeMeco Ryans. That's a good coach, man. DeMeco Ryans is a good coach. He dealt with a lot of injuries this year. And he still has that defense playing top. And shout out to Matt Burke too. Aggressive defense. One thing they're not doing, they're not playing prevent defense in Houston. That's what they're not doing. And on fourth down, and who were they playing last week? Because I thought about them and I thought about the Giants, because I thought when it was fourth down, obviously you knew that they needed the first down to go for it, and they didn't sit back and prevent. They went after the quarterback and they got it done. And that's what I want to see. Constant pressure. New York State of Mind says it may be difficult to switch at this point in the season. No, you're not. You're not switching the defense. You're just going to call the defense a little bit different. That's what I'm saying. Again, because the plays are already in there. There's already blitz packages in the like every defense has a blitz package. It's all about if you're calling those blitzes or not. So, and then are you calling man press? Like everybody has it. Those are the easy. So it's so much easier to make changes on defense, more changes on defense than offense. And then we saw the offense actually switch up the blocking scheme. They got away from the gap and went more duo. So I mean, it just depends on if they want to do it or not. And right now, like Charlie Bullen has nothing to lose. Mike Kafka has something to lose, but not really. So they should just be free out there, pause, and do what they want to do. Simeon says, when Dex is not in the game on first down, can we get a run blitz or two? That would make a lot of sense. If Dex is not in the game, you should be blitzing the A gap. You should be. It should be some type of blitz happening, especially on first down, to your point. To your point, that'd be the perfect time to stand up Abdul Carter over the center and give that man nightmares before the snap. Perfect time, but we don't think like that. Man, Dickens says, how do you run a 3-4 and not have exotic blitz packages? How do you have a 3-4? How do you have the personnel for a 3-4, but then you go with a 4-man front and you play Brian Burns like a will linebacker? Like, we were doing some crazy. Bowen was doing some crazy things, insane things. Like, it's like, when you really think about how bad he was calling the defense. Now, of course, execution matters too, so these players got to execute. But just put your players in the right situation. And time after time, before the snap, you're like, why is Dexter Lawrence all the way over there? Why isn't there a player in either one of the A gaps? Why are we creating these lanes for the running back? Why are we making the offensive line's job even better? Why are we letting the center get free to the linebacker or the guards get free to the line? Like, why are we doing these things? Meanwhile, the opposing team's offensive coordinator or whoever they have in the booth is like, hey, there's nobody in either one of those A gaps. Check down to the run. Center's going to get to the linebacker easy. That gap is going, you can drive a truck through the hole. It's crazy how, like, it didn't make sense. Bookend says, George is back in the SEC. So that means, oh man, tell me the score of the Alabama game, please. Somebody tell me the score of the Alabama-Auburn game, please. I forgot all about it. I know that game over too, probably. Shout out to Sean Jackson. Says Saquon looks injured or worn down. If the Giants win 4 or 5 of the final games, especially if the Giants beat the Cowboys in the final game, and that game is important to the Cowboys, Kafka might be the ace. That game is absolutely going to be important to the Cowboys. That game is, I would love to ruin Dallas's chances of making the playoffs. I would love to knock them out of the playoffs. That would make me feel fantastic. And to your point, yes. If all that stuff happens, they'll make that announcement quick as hell that Mike Kafka is the next head coach of the New York Giants. I don't even know how that works. Does the Rooney Rule work in that situation? If it's an interim head coach, if it's somebody on the staff and you're promoting them, do you still have to go through the Rooney Rule? And then some people told me that Mike Kafka was Puerto Rican, so he actually counts, or is like a part Puerto Rican, so he counts, for the Rooney Rule. So how does that even work? That's a whole nother discussion when it comes to the Rooney Rule. I like the idea of the Rooney Rule, but we know right now, we know for a fact that they be wasting people's time with the Rooney Rule. Like, you know it. And that's why they're getting sued for it. But it is what it is. We talk about that another time. Ford Expedition said more blitzes. That's what you're expecting now. That's a fact. The Bills, that's who it was. The Bills, thank you. You saw how aggressive they were against they whooped on the Bills. Whooped on the Bills. And when they needed it, what did they do? They sent the pressure. That was one of the, I love the way that game was called defensively. Thank you. It was the Bills. You see how far behind I am on the comments right now. What am I? I'm only 3 minutes behind, so it's not that bad. Gangstar said no gap for Bowen. Now, that's crazy. Bama winning right now, 2013. Thank you. What quarter are we in? Third quarter. Thank you very much, Book and Tackles. You knew what the next question was going to be. Freedom says Kafka is a minority. That's what they said. He said he's Puerto Rican. Yeah, man. Think Puerto Rican. Yep. That's what they say. He got that Taino in him. Shout out to Mike Kafka, because I didn't know. Humble says exactly, attack me. That's what you got to do, man. Again, with Will Campbell being out, and then also their guard being out too, so that it's going to be second stringers on the left side of that line. Burns got to eat. Dex got to eat. Now they might try to run a game. They got Stevenson. They got Henderson, the rookie. Henderson is a walking touchdown on every time he gets his hands on the ball. So the New York Giants got to play smart. They got to play discipline, but also they got to just make plays. They got to win on the one-on-one matchups. But Dex should have a good game despite the elbow. I'm curious to see how he looks, though. Ian Campbell says, yo, Dash, how far do you get until you're over Thanksgiving leftovers? I said it at the beginning. At the very beginning of this stream. If you still looking at turkey on Tuesday, throw it away. You should be throwing you should be throwing away those leftovers. Like today should have been the last day, if we're being honest. You got Thursday, you got all day Friday, because you know you was eating Thanksgiving food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you're like me, you eat Thanksgiving, you wake up Friday morning and you have Thanksgiving for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And by the time you get to Saturday, it's over. It's over. I don't even have any more leftovers left. But for the people that got leftovers left, you're pushing it. Sunday tomorrow, you're pushing it. You're pushing it tomorrow. But you shouldn't be eating any more stuffing. Them yams is way too much. Like, hold on a second, because you guys listen. For the people that got leftover yams, right? And everybody almost got leftover yams. So the people that got the candy yams left over, you know, by that third day, because of how much butter and how much oil is in those yams, you see it there when you warm it up. You warm up your plate, and it's a puddle of oil in your plate because of the mac and cheese, and the yams got so much butter and so much oil in it from the cheese. You know, you shouldn't be eating it. You should, especially leftovers. Leftovers will let you know that this stuff is bad for you. It'll let you know. Throw those leftovers away. Like when you wake up tomorrow and you still got that pan of mac and cheese in your fridge, you're playing with your life. You're playing with your life if you still eating them leftovers, man. Shout out to my man Simeon, said turkey hash. I kid you not. I made breakfast bagels with the ham from Thanksgiving this morning. I kid you not. It's the last of it. It's already tossed. It might be some ham left, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I got to get rid of that too. Luann said he's not Puerto Rican. I didn't think he was Puerto Rican either. It was like the grandparents. It's like 1/5, 1/8 Puerto Rican. He's Czech and Hungarian. I'm telling you. Dig a little bit deeper. Because somebody told me that, I didn't believe it, and then I saw it somewhere. So if I see it somewhere, I'll put a post on YouTube. We're gonna get Mike Kafka's ancestry. We're gonna get his 23andMe or his ancestry and find out, get to the bottom of this. I don't think he's Puerto Rican either. That's what they said. To me, I don't see it. But listen. That's what they said. Czech and Hungarian. Okay, I believe that for sure. I believe it, but I remember what I was told, because somebody told me he counted as a minority. I said, huh? What do you mean? They said, oh, he's 1/8 Puerto Rican, like the grandmother's Puerto Rican. I said, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Now Mike Kafka's Chinese. That's crazy. He's part Cherokee like Pocahontas. Good Lord. Y'all got to stop. James Hollison said Tibbs only has 2.5 sacks, but his tackle for losses is better. His play against the run is better. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We're not getting enough production from anybody not named Brian Burns, if we're going to be honest. Again, Dexter Lawrence got more interceptions than sacks this year. Dex should have had a touchdown too, man. Freaking Justin Herbert, man. Just give up on the play, Justin. Let Dexter Lawrence get that touchdown. Freedom says he's some type of, I don't know what he is. Nothing. See, now I don't listen. I'll figure it out. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get to the ancestry. But make sure you guys throw away those Thanksgiving leftovers though. Don't mess with it anymore. And because the turkey dry. The turkey was already dry. So imagine 3 days later. Nah. like a Popeye's biscuit. You're playing with your life. Man Dinka says minority is such a whack term. In another episode, I would ask you why, but I already know why. Patch Maybe says, Big Dash, we are the best 2-10. We are the best 2-10 team ever. Dart is back. We are beating the Patriots tomorrow night. I had to check my clock to make sure it's not Sunday. It's not Sunday yet. Not yet. Monday. But we are the best 2-10 team ever. 2-10 team ever. That's a fact. That's the moral victory. That is a moral victory. We're the best 2-10 team ever. But we really are. Like, it's foolish to say that, but it's the absolute truth at the same time. Like, we really are. Because we really shouldn't be 2-10. Like, we really shouldn't be. But it is what it is. Isaac says, slap some gravy on it, talking about that dry turkey. Listen. I don't see it when it comes to turkey, man. I like, this is the first year I did turkey, and I did turkey wings. I didn't do first of all, turkey is just, it takes forever. If you don't have, like, I don't have 2 ovens. I'll tell you that right now. Some of y'all got 2 ovens, and you can do that. The turkey take too long. That's too much time. I got my mac and cheese going. I got the yams going. I ain't got time to put a turkey in there for 6-7 hours. And I'm not like grandma and them, because grandma start that turkey, Wednesday night. And that turkey be cooking all night. You wake up in the morning, you smell the turkey, and you still don't eat till 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I ain't do it that way. I do all my cooking the same day. Why? Because I'm only cooking for the tight family. All my family's out east. It's just me and my wife and the kids here. So I don't be going crazy. My wife do her thing, I do my thing. And it's enough, leftovers, and then we don't feel crazy because we throwing away big pans of food. It is what it is. New York State of Mind says, I don't rock with turkey unless it's on a sub. Now, that's different. Simeon says, Granny starts at 3. Yeah. Listen, man. Simeon, if you, I remember, being on the East Coast. It'd be cold in November. And then your grandmother be cooking so long that the windows are sweating. For those that know and remember, y'all know what I'm talking about. The windows, it be like you go home or you wake up and the windows are sweating because grandma was cooking. That oven's at 400 degrees. Well, it might have been just me. I don't know. But the windows used to sweat. That's how long that stove was going. All night. Isaac says brisket is where it's at. The first time I ever made a brisket, it took me 16 hours to make it. I did wake up 4 a.m. to start it because I wanted to eat it the same day. It didn't happen. I put it on the smoker at 4 a.m. It wasn't done till 11 at that night. Candyman said, I know what you mean. Yeah, the windows are sweating. That's how you know you about to eat good, with the windows sweating. What? Grandma in there going to town. You wake up in the morning. See, shout out. My big brother ain't on the show today, but my big brother knows. Shout out to my big brother Shamari. He know. You wake up in the morning, the damn windows are sweating because they've been cooking since, like you said, 3 a.m. the night before. And all you do, you smell food the entire day to the point where you got to leave the house because you're so hungry because you've been smelling. Because the crazy thing about it is on Thanksgiving, maybe it's just me. Nobody cooked breakfast on Thanksgiving. If I'm thinking about it, because wasn't no room to cook breakfast. Chris said, if they not sweating, I ain't eating. Now that's a fact. And again, that's if you live. It's cold on the East Coast. Back in the day, it used to be cold in November. Now with the whole global warming and all this other stuff, November's ain't as cold as it used to be. I remember sometimes it used to snow in Thanksgiving. I don't know what's going on in the world right now, but that's another subject for another time. But it used to be cold in Thanksgiving. I remember the Thanksgiving football games. It was cold outside, but those windows used to sweat. Turkey bacon for breakfast. My middle son eats turkey bacon. I used to mess with turkey bacon. I don't know. It's a lot of salt in turkey bacon. They say it's better for you though. Global warming. Christopher Tony says Patterson, New Jersey, Baltimore. Yeah, that's a fact. It's cold enough up there. The windows sweat. And for the people that don't know, man, I feel bad for y'all, man. Everybody's experienced different things, man. I'm pretty sure your Thanksgiving meals are good where you grew up to. A lot of us are Giants fans, so a lot of us might be in the Northeast or from the Northeast or got family in the Northeast. Just, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all understand what I'm talking about. Manny Bang, we got to stop talking about food, man. We got to stop talking about food. All right, let me get back to my notes. Yeah, yeah. Two more things I want to talk about before we get out of here. I said it last week. We talked about certain players that should be signed or re-signed, and I went down a list. We talk about players, and then Wan'Dale Robinson was on that list, and it was like 50-50 in the chat last Saturday when we talked about whether or not we're going to keep Wan'Dale Robinson, and then on Sunday, Wan'Dale Robinson did some fantastic things, almost 100 yards in the first quarter. So I'm going to ask everybody again. Asking everybody again. Are you re-signing Wan'Dale Robinson? All right, would you re-sign Wan'Dale Robinson? Because just think about it. When it comes to this draft, obviously you got guys like Jordan Tyson, you got Tate from Ohio State, you got Mekhi Lemon from USC, you got Denzel Boston from Washington, you got Jacoby Lane, you got a bunch of wide receivers. I got what's the guy's name from Alabama? German. Do you re-sign Robinson? Does he have a spot on this team? Now you're paying Slayton a lot of money, and you don't get any relief if you cut him. The only way you can get some relief from Slayton is if you trade him, and you got to find a trade partner for him if you're doing that. And Wan'Dale Robinson, in my opinion, he's going to ask for at least Darius Slayton type of money. I see somebody say George Pickens. George Pickens ain't making it out of Dallas. He's getting, at least he gets tagged. Like, it wouldn't make any sense for Pickens to hit the open market. They traded for him. They knew he was going to be on a contract year. They should have paid him. They should have paid him this year though, because now he's going to cost them way more money than he would have cost them. Gangster says Slayton is gone. You got to trade him though. You can't cut him because you're not going to save any money. It's too much. The cap hit is crazy. That's what I'm saying, gangster. George Pickens ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. And then he likes Dallas, too. You see the way he's talking about Dallas? He's out there having fun, smiling. Remember how disgruntled he was? He was acting up. He ain't been acting up and all that. It might have been humble, too, getting traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers like that. But no way they're going to drop the ball and let Pickens walk. You kidding me? That ain't happening. Michael Urban said Pickens is a real number one. I believe so. He's your X. He's your X. As good as CeeDee Lamb is. CeeDee Lamb is good from the slot or outside. Inside and out. CeeDee Lamb is good. But George Pickens is that true X wide receiver for sure. And for me, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is way better than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It's not even close. It's not even close. And so when you think about the New York Giants, you think about Malik Neighbors, right? You think about Malik Neighbors, and you think about, well, where the hell is his number two? Where's his Robin? If he's Batman, where's his Robin? Because Dallas got a Batman and Robin. Philly got a Batman and Robin, even though they're disgruntled. Who's going to be that Robin for Malik Neighbors? And as much as I like Wan'Dale Robinson, he's not Robin, in my opinion. I saw somebody said give Hodgins a contract. Hodgins ain't going to cost you no money. Hodgins, that's going to be a cheap contract, and you better bring him back. It makes the most sense. He should have never got cut last year. I said that's a big statement. I don't know. Touchdown Auburn. Oh boy, here we go. Said this is Jerry Jones you're talking about. Shout out to my boy Jay Lay in the building. What's going on, Jay Lay? Says Slayton got to go keep Wandell. You got to be able to trade him though. That's it. You got to be able to trade him because you can't cut Slayton. Cutting Slayton is like burning $12 million. It was something crazy. Like if you cut Slayton, you only save like $200,000. It's not worth it. You got to trade Slayton and you got to try and find a partner for Slayton. I say that respectfully too, because Slayton might go out there on Monday night and have himself a game with Jaxson Dart, and then the conversation's a little bit different. But when we talk about value and who you want to keep, it's tough, man. Right now, I got to go with Wandell because what have you done for me lately? And Wandell wins that argument over Slayton right now. Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks was a good duo, for sure. For sure. We got robbed, New York State of Mind. We got robbed because remember what happened to Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz got hurt. We never really got a chance to see Odell and Victor Cruz for real. Not like a prime Victor Cruz. After he tore that patella tendon, and remember they cheered that in Philadelphia. Another reason why I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. They cheered when Victor Cruz got hurt. But man, a prime Odell and a prime Victor Cruz would have been fantastic. We got cheated from that. Like we always getting cheated, man. The Giants always get, and then Saquon Barkley and Odell only had one season together, so we stay getting robbed from experiences. And then this year, we only got Jaxson Dart and Malik Neighbors for a quarter and a half, actually. And it was over. Then Cam's listen, that Coughlin curse is real. That Coughlin curse is real. New York Giants fan for life or NYG fan for life says, can we trade even Slayton, or can we even trade Slayton? He hasn't had a good year at all, both in health or it's going to be a tough trade now. But somebody be there for him. Atlanta wanted him. Atlanta offered him more money than the Giants did, and he chose the Giants. Now I don't know. Now Atlanta got their whole issues now with their quarterback situation. Penix knee tore up again. They got Kirk Cousins. We'll see what happens with Kirk Cousins this week. But yeah, I think you're stuck with Slayton. And then you just got to figure out what you want to do with Wandell. And yeah, that money situation, you might see Wandell walk just because we can't afford him. And that's crazy. Boat Josh says, I want two good defensive tackles. You got two good defensive tackles. Like Darius Alexander is coming along. He's going to be a player. You got Dexter Lawrence. We need that depth behind him. So I agree with you with that part, because I think Nacho actually might be in his final year. And then you got DJ Davison, who's most likely not getting a contract. And after that, who is there? I mean, you still have you got Roy Robertson Harris for another year. So that's good. I do like Roy Robertson Harris. Again, I think this is Nacho's last year. So you got going into next year, you got Dex, you got Darius Alexander, you got Roy Robertson Harris. I wouldn't mind picking up two defensive tackles. It should be a good year for defensive tackles too. There's a couple of good ones. Actually, it's more than a couple of good defensive tackles in this draft. True Baller says trade Hyde. I don't even think he got any trade value now. Maybe somebody takes a chance on him, but we can't even get him on the field. Catholic can't even get him on the field unless somebody's hurt. Hyde and Banks. Yeah, we do need linebackers too. We need two linebackers. Micah McFadden on the like. In all honesty, right? In all honesty, we might go into 2026 without Bobby Okereke as a cap casualty and to save money, and then you still got to see if you can sign Micah McFadden. And we don't know what Micah McFadden is going to look like. He tore his plantar fasciitis. I'm not laughing at the injury. I'm laughing at the name. He tore it. Like, what is he going to look like? He already wasn't the fastest, very instinctual, but he wasn't the fastest. So how is this injury going to affect his side-to-side movement? I don't know. Simeon says Wan'Dale is a UFA after the season. He's going to get a nice contract from someone. Yeah, I think Wan'Dale might. If we don't come correct with the money, if we don't offer him a bag, he's out of here. Because you remember he's a second rounder. He ain't really got no paycheck yet. He's looking for a paycheck. Luann says I have respect for players who take a pay cut and not greedy like Saquon. I love players that take a pay cut. I love that they take pay cuts. I understand when they don't. Because, again, this is the NFL. And with the NFL, you see what happens to these players when they're no longer of value to these teams. They get rid of them. So I will never go against players, wanting more money or getting what they're worth. I will never argue against that, but I do like when they take pay cuts. I like when they keep the teams together. But again, I understand why they go after the bag. Baby Roger says argument is if we keep Wan'Dale, we sacrifice another position or two and we bring Hodgins back. Is Wan'Dale's value worth his target shares? We need a linebacker bad in round 2. I agree with that. I do believe if we didn't have Wan'Dale, somebody else gets those targets. I do believe that. I'm just saying, again, it's what have you done for me lately? And when you look at what Wan'Dale was doing, especially last week, you're like, yeah, I like what that looks like. Maybe we can fit him on a roster, but again, it does not make a lot of sense when you just paid Darius Slayton, and this goes back to Shane and his drafting, because if we already had another wide receiver, i.e. Hyatt, that was performing, then you can lose Wan'Dale and not worry about it as much, because you still have a wide receiver here that can take over that's still cheap on a rookie contract. But we don't draft well enough to do that, and this is the reason why I want Joe Shane gone. Just think about the linebacker situation. Micah McFadden, contract year. Bobby Okereke most likely is a cap casualty. Who are your backup linebackers? We done had 4 drafts, 4 off seasons. You telling me Darius Muasau is all we got? Who's after that? Swayze Bozeman? Zaire Barnes? Like, what are we even doing? Why don't we have backup linebackers? Deontay Johnson, who was a fan favorite, UDFA, they got cut. Bad drafting. Not putting the team together. Shane is guilty. Luann says a running back, 2 linebackers, a cornerback, a D lineman, and a wide receiver. Well, right now we got what? We got a first rounder, second rounder, no third rounder, a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder, and 3 6. So that's 3. What's that? 3, 4. That's 7 picks. Right now we got 7 picks. I'm like 1, 2, 4, 5, and 3. Yeah, we got 7 picks. And we also need some offensive line help too. Simeon says business is business. Now that's a fact. Mandinka says who's the leader of the locker room? Right now it got to be Brian Burns in my opinion. That's your vocal leader in my opinion. Dexter is more of a, follow me type of leader, not a vocal leader. And then when you think about the offense, you got to be Jaxson Dart and Jameis Winston. He's the leader of the locker room, actually, if we're talking about right now. It's Jameis Winston. I see you, Isaac. Simeon says the great Joe Shane really set us up. Telling you, man. I know what you meant, Luann. Sean Jackson says we need to re-sign Illuminor. Now that's a fact. I think Jermaine Illuminor is the first move that has to be made. You bring him back because you have bookend tackles if you do that. Greg Van Roten is most likely going to retire. And then I think that Runyon is just okay in my opinion. And JMS looked like he's turning the corner and actually becoming a better professional. So you got Marcus Imbo as your depth right now. Joshua Zudu becomes a free agent. And then after that, you got Aaron Stinney who becomes a free agent. And after that, I think Schlottman actually signed a 3-year contract. So we might have Schlottman for another year. So you need offensive line depth. You need linebacker depth. You need another cornerback. You need another defensive lineman. You need a wide receiver. You might need safety depth. Like, it's way too many holes and not enough depth on this team. Isaac Moore says, you think we tag anyone? I don't think anybody's worth tag money. Like you're not paying Wan'Dale Robinson $20 million. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, who's on a 5th-year option next year, and that's going to be like $14 to $16 million. You're not, so you don't have to worry about a tag on him. There's nobody worth tagging actually when you think about it. I don't think there's anybody worth tagging because I don't think anybody's worth the price of the tag. Now that I'm thinking about it, who's worth the price of the tag? Illuminor might be the only one worth the price of the tag. Outside of that, there's nobody worth tagging. That the price is too high for these guys. That's the situation we're in. Thanks to Joe Shane. All right, man, we're almost at the 2-hour point. I'm going to get through a couple more comments. So if you have anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about, go ahead and put it in the comment section now. And then we're going to get up out of here. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. No, I didn't miss any super chats. Okay. Vaporizer said we might tag McFadden if we can't get a deal done. There's no reason why you can't get a deal done with McFadden. He's coming off an injury, a bad one, so he missed the whole season. His price tag should be way lower than what it was going into the season. So I don't think there's a reason to tag McFadden. That price tag should be just fine for him. Shouldn't be an issue at all in my opinion. Especially once you because you're most likely going to drop that Bobby Okereke contract to save that $9 million, and you can get McFadden for a good price. Candyman says, "Are there any corners in free agency? There might be some cap casualties right now. It's not the deepest corner free agency class. I got to go back and look, but there's always going to be like cap casualties. I think we should have signed what's his name's son. Got to play for the Patriots. Play for the Chargers. Asante Samuels. I think we should have signed Asante Samuels' son. I really do. And Cordell Flott is another one, man. We got to pay Cordell Flott. And you can't pay him top corner. You can't tag Flott. That money doesn't make sense. As much as I like Cordell Flott, as much as he's improved, you can't tag Cordell Flott. You know how much money that is? Pay him top corner money? Like, whoever the next GM is, if it's Joe Shane or if it's an entirely new GM, they got a lot of work to do in free agency. They got a lot of work to do. And so for the people that still love Joe Shane and they tell you that Joe Shane got you Dart, Joe Shane got you Brian Burns, I'm not trying to hear that, man, because it's more than just Brian Burns and it's more than just Jaxson Dart. We're going into this season or 2026, and it's a lot of stuff that has to happen, and we don't got that kind of money, and then we got to cut players and then possibly overpay players to prevent them from leaving, when every other GM on every other team has the replacement in the building already. And this is the only time I talk well about the Philadelphia Eagles, because they always got somebody waiting to replace the person that leaves, and they don't miss a beat. 4 draft classes, 4 free agency periods. We got way too many holes. That's a fact. Don't forget, I think we re-signed Koo. I think Koo. I think that's one of the first contracts that happened. We signed Koo, cut Gano, save about $4 million, and call it a day. That's it. Shout out to Koo too, man. He made a tackle last week, saved the touchdown. I don't want my kicker having to tackle people, but it is what it is. Man says Hard Knocks is right around the corner. I think it starts next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it starts the 4th. Right? I think it starts the 4th. Because it usually comes, like Hard Knocks is usually that Tuesday. It usually comes on Tuesdays. So if it's not this Tuesday, it's the following Tuesday. And I don't know what that day. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I know this Tuesday is the 2nd. It might start as early as the 2nd. Okay. It's the 2nd? There you go. Chris, that's a fact. Can't spend major money on Wan'Dale. Especially with this draft class. Like you're drafting the number 2 wide receiver this year. Like there's no reason. There's too many good wide receivers especially where we're going to be picking. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get a Jordan Tyson or Cornell Tate or a Mekhi Lemon. I think all those guys complement Malik Neighbors. And then also, you know how they say it takes a while for guys to come back of a knee injury. So even though Malik Neighbors is coming back next year, we don't know when Malik Neighbors is going to look like Malik Neighbors again. So we definitely got to address the wide receiver. Like it got to happen. And the crazy thing is, if I'm thinking about somebody that has to possibly be a sidekick to Malik Neighbors, but also be the guy while we're waiting for Malik Neighbors to look like Malik Neighbors again, then it might be Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon over Cornell Tate. I think Cornell Tate is like the perfect number 2 to Neighbors, but guys like I think Mekhi Lemon is more explosive. I think Jordan Tyson is more explosive. My man Simeon, I always got those small school guys. Corey Lum says, great chat. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and close this thing out. We already hit the 2-hour point. I do appreciate everybody for vibing with me. Again, the New York Giants, we gotta wait a whole nother day. We don't play till Monday night. I'm trying to figure out exactly if I'm gonna do a reaction show after live reaction after the game. I got some things to take care of after the game, so we'll see what happens with that. So I might not post a live reaction, but if I go live, you guys, if you guys get the notifications, you guys will see that. But with that being said, I want to thank. Well, hold on. Vaporizer says we're finishing 7-10, or the 7-10 range in the draft. I think that happens. I think that's realistic. I do think that's realistic. Shout out to my man New York State of Mind too. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.